day 40. Woo! I made it. But it's only still just the beginning. We've got 320 some more days to go. So I'm going to, before I get started gabbing, look at this. Look at that. On fire. I got some good pictures this morning. I remember it was like, I can't miss this. I got to pay attention. That's the theme today. Pay attention. Oh, man. This book of Judges. What I read today was a little shorter, the reading assignment, but it was powerful. I had to read it a couple of times because you got to pay attention. The way the Bible is written, I'm learning. I mean, I think I had been told this and knew this, but now learning it really firsthand, man, God, you got to really pay attention. You know, if he told the details of everything that we're supposed to get, I mean, this book would be thousands of books long, and it would take you a lifetime to read. So you've got to really pay attention and read between the lines, read what is said. Well, why did they say that? That might mean that something opposite or something else happened that they're specifically having to point something out. So you got to really pay attention and think and ponder and meditate. Ask God to speak to you. Pay attention. And what it might even mean to you. So that is what is kind of beautiful about, well, a lot of works of art and writings and whatever, you know, it can be so subjective. It can mean lots of things. The author might have meant, now we know God as the ultimate author can make all the meanings and think of all the things for all the people. But even, you know, human artists, we might have an intention when we create a work. And then we can even learn more about our works when other people look at it and see something that spoke directly to them. And you're like, oh, yeah, like, wow, that's pretty cool. So there's like, anyway, I'm not a scholar or anything like that. I'm just somebody who's like reading the Bible for the first time herself and not going to anybody else's interpretation. I'm just getting my what I'm supposed to get for it, and I'm sharing it. So this morning was the book of Deborah, and not the book of Deborah, a chapter about a prophet named Deborah. Now, first of all, like we're talking thousands of years ago, and where women did not have traditionally leadership roles. We learn about some exceptions, even about the daughters of Zelophehad, who got to be landowners. This is not a common occurrence. So right away, even in the title, Deborah, you're like, oh, better pay attention. And then there's even another woman, two women. The story is about two women, mainly. Now there's a lot of other stuff that happens, but Deborah and Jael, Jael. And Deborah, one of the leaders of the two of the tribes, she calls two of the tribes leaders and says, look, here's what the Lord said. He said, we need to go conquer these people, and you're not going to get credit for it because the person who is going to like really do the final like blow and give you all victory will be at the hands of a woman. So she's a prophet. That's what prophets do. They tell you what's going to happen, tell you what the Lord says and what's going to happen. So these leaders go, that happens. There's an opportunity. A woman named Jael is paying attention. The commander of the opposing land and army, she has an opportunity. He comes into her. She sees him outside, and she says, come into my tent. I'll hide you. And they were friendly. She was in a place that was not her home. These were not her people, but she was placed in a unique place with a unique opportunity for such a time as this to take out this person of power. And she killed him. He trusted her. He felt safe. She covered him with a blanket. He fell asleep. She grabs a tent peg and a hammer and like whacks him in the head. Like, it's pretty gory. But they have victory. The Israelites are delivered victory, the final victory through these two women. And then there's a song, the Song of Deborah, that, and I'm paying attention right here because there's ice. See, even while I'm walking and talking, I'm having to pay attention and look like, what? Don't slip down that ice. Let's walk around. It's always important to pay attention. And in this Song of Deborah, some of the lines in there refer to other tribes that didn't pay attention. And maybe it was because Deborah had already spoken to other tribe leaders, and maybe they were like, oh, you're a woman, what do you know? Or, no, that can't, there's no way that can happen. And they declined their opportunity. They didn't pay attention. But these other people did, these other tribes, and then now they're in this song. But it was really interesting that these other tribes were called out. That's where we, even as readers, have to really pay attention and read between the lines. Why is that there? Why are they pointing out that these other tribes, didn't pay attention or didn't have this victory? And the result of this also for the Israelites was that they had 40 years of peace after this particular conquering and taking this king and this leader out in this land. So, yeah, sometimes you can miss things, or you can take the wrong path, just like I almost did. And I don't have grippy boots on, so I could have slid right down that thing. And here, most of the snow has melted here. I gotta pay attention. We've always got to pay attention. We could really miss some opportunities, or we can even go down the wrong path. Well, I guess that's saying the same thing in different words. And how many people out there are maybe being warned or told things or invited to something, and they're not paying attention? Yeah. There's always opportunities around you. And when you're and these two women were women of God. They were paying attention to the ultimate authority and knew the opportunity when it came and presented itself, and did what they were supposed to do. They paid attention. They role modeled paying attention, along with the other two tribes, even though they were told, hey, you're not going to get credit for this. They went anyway. And they didn't know who that woman was going to be. So maybe they even thought it was Deborah. Maybe because they asked Deborah to come along with them on this conquest. And she went. And so when I was first reading the story, I thought, oh, Deborah's going to get credit. But no. And then, this woman in a tent, just doing her business, sees an opportunity. And her name is now in the Bible. She didn't even have the proper tools. Like, she paid attention to what she did have. What do I have? What do I know how to do? I know how to drive a tent peg, and that might do the job. Like, this concept of paying attention, just was everywhere in this story for me. And so I'm going to be paying attention today. I've got, some appointments today. I'm going to really pay attention to what's happening. I've got some opportunity. And we have that every day, don't we? Sometimes we just get stuck in wake up, there's another day, get kind of stuck in our routines, and we don't pay attention. We are on autopilot. Let's not do that, friends. Life is too precious. So if you are enslaved to a bad habit and you're, like I talked about yesterday, and you're going, oh, it's good enough. This little thing I'm doing over here isn't going to hurt. And you're not paying attention to the compound effects of that. And then you find yourself like me one day going, wait a minute, where did this extra weight come from? I don't have any energy. I feel like I'm living Groundhog's Day here because I wasn't paying attention. I was just I was so stuck in my routine or in my belief systems and just in, oh, well, this is what it is. And kind of trying to do all the right things, but not fully engaged. You know what I mean? The way that I could be. And sometimes we think some of the things we're doing are so harmless. Like, can it really make that big of a deal? Well, give it a try. Give it a try, and then pay attention to the changes that happen in your life, and you might be amazed. You might just rise and shine with, like me, like make some radical changes and like become a totally different person and be excited about the adventure that life truly is and can be. So if your life isn't feeling like an adventure, like tune in here, like borrow some of my sense of adventure and let it be yours. And just be open to the process. Pay attention. Or find somebody else that you resonate with me. It doesn't need to be me. I don't care. I'm just here doing this anyway. So watch or don't watch, but find somebody that you resonate with. Find somebody else and borrow whatever they've got. You know, our attitudes and our perspectives are contagious. Who are you surrounded by? Anyway, I'm starting to go off in another tangent. Maybe I'll continue that thread tomorrow. But for now, oh my goodness. Bye. Have an adventurous day.